Hey there friends, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the colors in your photos pop when editing raw photos in Affinity Developer Studio. So to get started, I've already loaded in one of my raw photos right here. And as you can see, I haven't really made any changes to it yet. So I'm just going to quickly turn on split view because this just makes my editing process a bit more intuitive. And I'm gonna go ahead and start making some minor color corrections. So I'll just be increasing the exposure a little bit, making sure that the subject is properly lit. I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'm gonna go ahead into the shadows and highlights portion. I'm going to maybe bring the shadows up just a little bit and the highlights so that I don't lose any details. I'm gonna quickly add a contrast curve as well. Quickly adding a contrast curve. Just some slight adjustments, making sure that I'm not making too many changes to it. There we go. There we go. So as you can see, just by making those few changes, specifically the contrast curve and the shadows and highlights portion, we're able to already make some certain areas pop a bit more. Like noticeably here around her back, there's more contrast between the shadows, and that just naturally makes it stand out. There are other ways of making colors pop out of your photos, and that's by using color contrast. So there are two types of contrast, right? You have your lighting contrast, which is like the contrast created by differences in brightness, and the color contrast, which is created by differences in, as the name suggests, color. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the tone section, going to close the curves, and this time we're going to look at split toning. So split toning is a form of color grading. This allows you to add certain hues to the highlights and the shadows of your picture. So in this case, I want my highlights to be sort of a warm orange, and I want my shadows to be sort of like a purplish blue. So maybe around lavender, I guess. So now I'm going to increase the highlight saturation, but not by much, just a little bit, like so. So you can compare with it maxed out and with it not maxed out. The difference is subtle, but it's definitely there. Going to up the shadows. Oops, that's very, very noticeable. So just a little, maybe just a few percent, maybe just 2% even. Maybe reduce this a little bit as well. And you can also change the balance, which is basically the crossing over point between the two. In this case, I'm going to reduce the balance a little bit to favor the highlights. And as you can see, the background has more of a purplish tone compared to before. And the subject now pops out a lot more. So you can also start adding some vibrance and saturation adjustments underneath the enhance tab. Just go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Going to up the vibrance, not by much though, because I don't want to overdo it. And I'll take a look at whether adding saturation will make the photo look a bit unrealistic. Doesn't seem like it. So now that that's done, we can start adding masks, and a quick little adjustment I like to make when I have these photos that have a certain mood. A quick thing that I like to do when working with photos like this, where they're a bit moody and I want to have some parts really, really stand out, specifically the highlights and the whites, I'm going to add a luminosity range mask. So this opens up a small window, and I'm just going to bring this down and to the right. So as you can see, the parts that have a reddish hint hue to them are the ones that are being selected in the mask. So right now it's selecting everything, but I only want to select the parts that are a certain brightness value or luminosity value. That looks about right to me. I can even change this curve, make it a bit more like this, just to flatten it out. And I'd say that looks just about right. There we go. So now that I have the luminosity range mask set up, I'm going to go back to the basic tab, and I'm going to increase the brightness and reduce the black point. There we go. Maybe up the exposure just ever so slightly as well. I want to make sure that I don't blow up the image. Or if we compare, if we zoom in, there we go. As you can see, the portions that are highlighted by the lighting got a lot more, got a lot brighter. That's really what I wanted to achieve. This sort of glow effect. I'm a very, very big fan of it. Maybe even up the vibrance a little. Or no, I think that's fine. And there we go. So those few minor adjustments that we made in the master layer, the saturation and vibrance, lended a lot to making the colors stand out even more. So maybe lastly, we can add a vignette, and I'm just going to go ahead and create a very simple vignette by selecting everything in one mask, like so, moving this up, and then creating a compound mask with a gradient, setting this to subtract, and then using an elliptical mask like so. Increase the feathering a bit more and increase the size of the mask like so, and bring down the exposure in the corners. There we go. And even make it pretty extreme if I really want to. Now I'm just going to bring everything down like so. So that way, because of the contrast with the darker portions of the image, the subject stands out even more. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to click on develop and I'll probably export this like so. Just click on file and I'm gonna export and I'll be able to save this photo. So I'll call this export number 2 and I'll save it to my desktop. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope I was able to teach you something new and something useful, and be sure to subscribe to watch more content like this in the future.